Salutations, my geeks, nerds, gamers, and lanners. It is I, your host, Mr. G63, and today we are going to be looking at the third episode of Craftopia. Now, in the previous episode, I showed you guys how to move to the third age of civilization, which is the Renaissance. Now, with the Renaissance age, we have now been able to gain access to a few new items, and I'm going to be showing you what these items are, well, some of them, especially the new automation modules that you will be using in Craftopia. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So, as we open up the workbench, we will see that we have gotten a few new items. More specifically, the titanium and gold pickaxe, as well as nutrition supplements, which help grow tree seedlings. Now, I'm not going to really go into tree seedlings right now because I want to show you guys a brand new toy that we have now received. And those are the automation modules. So we have now got the dropper, the absorber, the craft connector, and the electric fan. Now these are going to help you get your automation up and running. A lot of these you're going to be using as for with farming. So let's go do that. Okay, so now you can see I've got a little farm going over here with 8 farm plots and conveyor belts all the way around them. Now, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking all of these farm plots and we're going to be automating them. So one of the two things need to happen. Number one, we need to be able to water these automatically. So for that, we have got the sprinkler. Now the sprinkler only costs 5 cogs and 20 buckets of water. And then the second thing that we will need to do is to, of course, harvest them. And for that, we have got the reaping machine. Now the reaping machine is slightly more expensive, with it being 2 iron, 4 cogs, and 1 battery. Okay, so without further ado, let's quickly show you how we're going to lay this out. So the sprinkler is able to function in a basically in a 4-block circle. Okay, so what I've done is I've placed here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be enough for 1 sprinkler. So we're going to place a sprinkler down, and Bob your uncle will be ready to harvest. Now the next thing that we are going to need is the reaping machine. So what I'm doing is I'm placing the reaping machine just on the edges over here. So I'm going to place them all down. There we go. All our reaping machines are now down and ready to work. So we are going to wait a while the plants grow and see how the harvesters work. So now that the wheat has harvested, the reapers are going to start activating and cutting our wheat down so that we can start collecting them. Now when the reapers start activating, you will see that it will basically cut the wheat and keep it on the farm plot. Sometimes you'll see a case like that where the wheat will fall off the farm plot and will be knocked onto the conveyor. Now we need to find a way of transporting our wheat from the wheat plot onto the conveyor. Now for this, I have discovered a really cool trick. So, first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have something like a chest or something that can go around the conveyor belt. So I'm gonna go craft a small wooden crate so that we can have this done. Alright, so now that we have crafted the wooden crate, we're going to place this wooden crate down on the conveyor belt. So as you place it, as you can see, it takes center of the conveyor belt and tends to travel all the way around our farm plots. Now, next thing that we are going to be using is our blowers. So, being cheeky, we're going to run up to our crate over here and we're going to place blowers on the actual crate. So as you can see, as the crate moves around, it starts blowing all of your wheat off the farms. But now, these blowers tend to be quite strong, and they will actually blow the wheat right off the conveyor belt and into the water, as we can see what has just happened there. Now this we don't want. So how are we going to work around that? Well, what we can do is we can put these around our base. So if we put that down, as you can see, when it blows the wheat off, the wheat gets stuck up against the curb and then carries on. However, better still would be, of course, the stone walls. So let's get some stone walls and get it built up. Okay, so now we've got our stone wall built up around our farm. Now we've got the problem of how are we going to be collecting our wheat. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting down this crate as close as we can to the wall. Once we have done this, we are going to try and remove this wall without removing the crate. Let's see if I can do this again. There we go. There we go. So now we have removed the wall. Now we're going to grab one of these absorbers and we're going to place it as low as we can without it clipping through the wall on the crate. So once we've done this, it will start sucking them into the crate. Now sometimes these do take a while, so it may go around a few times before it gets sucked in, because how these suckers work is, the absorbers work, is they suck for a period of time. Once that period of time, it slows down and then it waits and then it starts sucking it in again. Now what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding a few more blowers to our crate. For some other reason, the crate has now gone invisible, so we are just guesstimating as to where this is. So we're just going to be placing one there, and one there. So now, as you can see, as this is now traveling around, it is blowing the wheat around and getting it off the crate, and that is then being sucked in by the absorber. Okay, whatever gets missed gets blown around again, and so forth. So as you can see, this is a nice way to just automate your farming and getting the basics of your automation up and running. So with that, we have now basically shown you how the blowers and how the absorbers work, the sprinklers as well as the reapers. Now the next thing that we are going to be looking at is of course the droppers. So let us quickly get some droppers and show you how those work. Alright, so now that we have got a dropper as well as a craft connector, I'm going to be showing you what these bad boys can do. So when we equip the dropper, what this does is it will actually drop whatever is in the crate. So if I put one down, as you can see, every few seconds, it will spit out one of the wheat that I have picked up. Now, if it wasn't for the machine that was blowing, I would have been able to keep that there. Now, what's really cool with this is that the more droppers you place on it, the more you are able to drop. So as you can see, we are getting quite a large sum of wheat getting out here. Now, why would you do this? So, for example, let's say I want to sell all the wheat. So what I can do is I can put a trader right over here. And place an absorber on the trader. Now, every time it starts spitting out wheat, the trader will then absorb that wheat and then it will sell. Another really cool thing with the dropper, like I said, the more you put on, the more wheat will come out at a time. Now, let's say you don't want to sell the wheat. Let's say you want to be able to cook with the wheat. So we'll wait for the sale. There we go. We have sold the wheat. Now we are happy. Now, let's say you want to make something with the wheat. So, for example, with the wheat, you can make flour. So, what we can do is use our next little friend. So, here we go. We've got our cooking pot. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, the craft connector. We are going to attach that to our chest while it's aiming at the pot. So now you can see it creates a connection between the pot and the crate. So when I go to the cooking pot, you'll see the crafting has slightly changed. So it's got this infinite craft. So what I can do is I can select my wheat, I can say auto craft, and this will now start auto crafting my wheat. But it will only craft one at a time. So what we can do then is we can basically put our little chest over here with an absorber and then add a dropper to the chest. So as the wheat gets completed, the dropper spits it out and the absorber grabs it. Now you might be saying, but it takes so long for the dropper to work. Well then, add another dropper. So now as soon as it has completed, it will be spat out. Now as you can see, this is spitting all over the place. So let's say we want to make sure that doesn't happen. What we can do is we can grab our absorber, take the wheat out, and then we can put, like, for example, a wall or a stone slope right over here. So now when it spits it out, the slope stops it. Then we can put our chest and our absorber down, and it will start sucking in all of the wheat. For some reason it's not doing it now. There we go. Now it's putting all the wheat into the box. And there we go, guys. Getting some Craftopia and automation up and running. And that is it for this episode. Alright, I hope you guys really enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed making it. Now, in the next episode, I am going to be showing you an automated way on how to make batteries. Now, this is going to be a little bit labor intensive, But once you've got it set up, you will never worry about batteries ever again. The, so this is going to involve a little bit of jumping from island to island and trying to catch animals. So, with, uh, with that out of the way, all I want to say to you guys is shop shop Millie Pop, stay lacquer, and I'll catch you on the refresh. Bye bye.